I am in the Mercedes-Benz climate wind tunnel facility. It's minus 16 degrees, and under all the snow is the new GLB. And of course, we have another car in a regular studio. I'm here because the new GLB is going to come with a cool climate system. Let's find out today on Autogefühl with me, AJ. As we can clearly see, this is a pre-production prototype, but we can already look at some hints to give us an idea of what to expect when it comes out. We know that this is based on the same platform as the CLA and the shooting brake, so already we get an idea of what the headlamps will look like. And I like these Mercedes Star design for the LEDs. The GLB retains its boxy shape. It's still compact, but very nicely packaged on the inside, which means that yes, now with the new generation, it is a little bit bigger, but not by that much. Another thing that they've improved is the size of the cutout for the rear door. Now this benefits in a couple ways. First of all, getting child seats inside to the middle row is easier now, although the door doesn't open 90 degrees. And I'll show you in a minute how getting into the third row is a little bit easier too. So yes, they've retained the 7-seat option, which I think is another USP of the GLB. And lastly, the square, very traditional SUV design, straight cut is also what I really like. You also have that nice spoiler and of course the more modern, improved LED signature. I like these pop-out door handles and I like the interior design of the door. Mercedes, of course, has really great ambient lighting. There's lighting along the top here, but the rest of it is pretty similar to what we've come to know. And the materials are nice and soft, and they might change some of these since this is still a pre-production prototype, but I think the real story is how it looks inside. These seats are also really nice. They've redesigned the cushion shape and the contour and even the foam density a little bit to further improve the comfort based on customer feedback. And again, SUV door, SUV body style, SUV ground clearance. So getting inside is pretty easy as well. Now, this is where we see the biggest difference. This has adopted the new MB.OS that we've seen from the CLA, so a lot more to talk about here. What immediately grabs your attention are these large screens. I'm sure this one is an optional extra, but now the passenger, for example, can watch Autogefühl on YouTube on a long road trip. The MB.OS also looks really futuristic. It's such a vivid and pixel-dense screen. It's very responsive. You also have it kind of reminds me of Cortana. I don't know if you guys have ever played those Halo video games. This is the MB Assistant right over there. It looks really sci-fi. Speaking of sci-fi, I think one of the things they've really wanted to highlight with this new interior is the panoramic sky roof. The panoramic glass roof is now standard across the range, but you can optionally get the sky control, and I'll show you what that is. Unfortunately, there is no opening sunroof option anymore. Clearly, this is a prototype because that's the EQS. But what we want to show you here is the sky control to make, for example, now the sunroof, the panoramic glass is all clear, but you can tap on Opal and then all these different segments become milky. So you have more privacy. These are, of course, heat treated, UV heat treated, and of course, acoustic glass as well. And if you don't want the whole sunroof to be opaque, you can choose a specific motif. So maybe you just want shade in the front and the kids in the back want to look out above to see the mountains, or yeah, have your own fun pattern. If I go into the menu here and to the ambient styles button, then I can change the theme. And for example, now the background changes, the ambient lighting along the bottom here changes along the center console, of course around the air vents, but also the colors of the stars on the panoramic roof. It's also nice to see that you have a quick option to turn off the acoustic speed limit warning. This is a prototype, but let's explore a little bit more in detail. We also see that this now gets the start button on the column shifter here, which is pretty cool. It liberates more space down here. And yes, the screen is a little bit narrower, but the bezels are small. And as always, you have the very similar options, for example, just having a big map or different kinds of information layout that you want to have on the digital instruments. I also love that they still retain, of course, your adaptive cruise control, lane keeping, but also if I keep toggling between this, I can go to the speed limiter function, which I always love to use in the city. And this button is always to just jump directly to the speed limit. So easy buttons, yes, it's haptic, but as you can see, you can press them. They're not all just touch and swipe, and they have these nice clicking switches as well. So a good combination of touch and physical buttons. There's also a head-up display, which even shows your navigation. There's plenty of storage too. The glove box, I have a feeling might not be finished because there isn't any felt lining here, but it is reasonably sized. It's not that big, but as you can see, the center console is totally new. So you have so much more space down here. I like that there's this little elastic strap so you can secure certain items. Some USB ports down there. Up here you have a couple beverage holders with the spring-loaded clamps to further secure your bottles. So satisfying to press these little buttons. An inductive phone charging pad, which is cooled, as we can see down there, but no real buttons to speak of over here. You have, of course, the hazard light button, which is just a regulatory requirement, but the volume is just a touch-sensitive slider, and the dynamic select, well, you can push this in, but it's not an individual button. So in the end, it's okay. One of the USPs of the GLB has always been how spacious it is on the inside thanks to its clever packaging. And now there's even more headroom for all 3 rows of seats because of this panoramic glass roof. And because it's treated for noise and heat insulation, I think it's a great way to liberate more space without having to increase the overall height of the actual metal body shell. As with modern Mercedes, you can adjust your seat with these controls here on the door. They're pretty easy to use and they are actually moving, so they click into different positions, so it's not just a touch-sensitive thing. The steering wheel column can also be adjusted for reach and rake, and you also can extend the underthigh support as well. Getting inside to the second row is really easy thanks to this larger opening. I still don't see a sunshade though. Maybe it's an option later on, we'll see. Nets for your seat back pockets, a couple air conditioning vents here, a couple USB-C over here. Now, another talking point is the bench itself. Similar to the front, the cushioning and the contouring, the side bolstering has all been improved. Even the angle of recline that you can achieve if you want more cargo space or you want to really relax has also been improved. I'm 5'8" or about 1.7 meters, and as you can see, if I'm sitting with my driving seat position here set to my height, I have plenty of knee room. I have space to slide my feet under the front seat as well. An expansive panoramic glass roof, which also makes the cabin much more airy and also gives me much more headroom. So really good packaging, really spacious on the inside. Isofix child mounts for the outside 2 seats. You can, of course, fold the center down so you have a 40-20-40, and we have 2 more seats in the back. As before, you do get 5- and 7-seat options, but you can also slide the front bench forward, and you can also, of course, use this latch to then further push it all the way to the front to have an easier access to the 3rd row. So let's see how that looks now. It's still a bit of a step up. You're still sitting, as you can see, very knees up. The floor is, you're basically sitting on the floor, rather. Ignore this center console. This will not be in the final production version. They were not satisfied with this plastic, so there are no USB-C ports otherwise, so not even on the side. There is also no air conditioning vent on the 3rd row, so nothing on the C-pillar, and the air conditioning vents in the middle are also on the center console and not on the B-pillar there. So I have to see when we actually get a chance to test this vehicle, how comfortable is the air conditioning all the way here in the 3rd row. But it is still quite compact. So if I were to bring the seat back to a reasonable position, I actually have enough knee room, and if I were to slouch a bit and press my knees up against the backrest, I can kind of liberate some of the force that's on my lower back. I wouldn't be happy for a long distance, but for kids, this is definitely doable. And don't forget, Isofix for the back 2 seats as well. So you have the ability to put child seats here, like maybe a booster seat. So young children, they will have plenty of space. So, as you can see now, 3 AJs sitting one behind the other can actually fit. But now, how much space is left in the trunk? All right, let's take a look. Moment of truth. As expected, it's not great, but it's still usable. You can keep a couple of backpacks. And to be honest, you're not doing long road trips with 7 seats generally. If that's the case, you have the roof rack to put a roof box. This is to do the school run. If you have your kids and their friends and you need to take them to soccer practice, that's where you have the 7 seats, and then you have enough space to keep their sports equipment. It's also nice that you have a neat, tidy place to secure the parcel shelf, this roller here. So when you have the 7 seats up, everything is nice and neat. Of course, if you need to fold these down, by the way, Michelle was just saying that from the back, this kind of looks like those droids from the first 3 Star Wars movies. I'm not sure. Do you agree with Michelle? Put it down in the comments below. But with the headrests down, if I pull this red tab, I can fold the seats down and they lock into place. Now you see that we have so much more loading space. The seats can be slid even further forward if you need more space for a longer item, like maybe something from IKEA. Of course, all of those seats themselves can be pushed down in 40-20-40, and then you really have a very huge cargo capacity. As always, Autogear Fuel, we're putting up with physical torture just for you guys, so make sure you stay subscribed for our next videos. Well, finally, I'm inside the GLB and I'm joined by Mona, and we're going to learn a little bit more about what makes the new GLB's climatization system that much better, because yeah, going from -16, as soon as I come inside the car, I want it to be warm and cozy. So Mona, how does the new GLB achieve this?
So, as already said, it's compared to the older GLB, much faster heating up. So you can feel already the warm air coming from the side here already. So it's going directly to your face, to your hands. I think you are already feeling, this. We're not that cozy and warm, but I mean, we sit in the car like for 2 minutes already. This heat is provided by the heat pump in addition to the electric heat booster that we have, so it makes it very fast and very dynamic.
Now, is this technology also going to be translated to the ICE versions of the GLB? Because now when we talk about the heat pump, it's for the electric GLB. How is the new petrol GLB also going to benefit from this advancement, or is that not part of the new ICE GLB?
It's actually not planned. Since we are talking about multi-source heat pumps, so we are using the battery as a heat source. We are using the air we need for this, our electrical high voltage compressor, so that's why it's actually planned only for the electric GLB.
Awesome. And as always, you have the ability to, precondition the vehicle with the app, create routines, yeah, Monday to Friday every morning in the cold winter months that it warms you up, de-ices the windows. Yeah. Can you tell us about, I think you said there's something new with the way the car can de-ice the windshield. So can you tell me a little bit more about that?
So you actually can go on with the defrost button. So if I would press this button, we will direct all the air we have to the windshield. It's a very hot air, a lot of it coming directly to the windshield, so it makes it de-ice very quickly. As I already said, you can go, if you have the time, if you think about it, you can program your profile for the week, or you can just, if you're sitting in the morning drinking your coffee, you will be ready in half an hour, so you can go on and start your preconditioning, and by the time you're in the car, it is already free and you can drive your car. So it's up to you actually to choose the way you want it. It's you can do it from the app if you have the time, if you think about it, or you step in the car and it's about minutes that is already free.
Great, thank you. So if we go into the climate menu here, first of all, ignore that graphic. This is a pre-production prototype, but this is what we were just talking about. If I go to the pre-entry climate control, I can set up a schedule. So let's say every Monday at probably not 3 a.m., but 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. I need to go to office. So I can have this set up so then it preconditions the climate inside the car so that it's nice and warm or cool when I enter. I can also allow the car to suggest, if it notices, for example, that Mondays and Tuesdays I start my day at 7 in the morning, then on Wednesday it'll say, hey, can I put this as a departure time so that the next time I come in, it's already preconditioned. So I think this is pretty cool. So I've been sitting inside for just under 5 minutes now, and already my feet are warm, my hands are warm, my face is warm. So this new heat pump definitely makes a difference. We don't have specifications just yet, but since we know that this is on the same platform as the CLA, we can assume that for the electric version, you'll get the 58 or the 85 kilowatt hour battery packs, which will also come with a frunk. Can't show you that today though. But also that we will probably get the 1.5 Turbo 4 petrol engine in mild hybrid guise. Different power outputs are expected. Make sure you're subscribed so when we actually get our chance to test this vehicle, you don't miss that review. In the meantime, check out comparison videos we've done with the current GLB, for example, versus its younger brother, the GLA, and check out the CLA shooting brake to learn more about the capabilities of this platform.